Autumn Changes, my unofficial semi-autobiography by Red Jordan Arobateau. Half measures avail us nothing. We stand at the crossroads. There is no turning back. Holy Eucharist. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to any person, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Section 1. Tales of a Trans Man, Part 1. 1998. The sky is slate gray in the eastern sky and in need of a storm. Trans Man stands 5 foot 3 inches, 160 pounds, masculine attire, slacks, jacket, on a square body. His shoulders thick from previous years of weight training, stomach flat. There is a storm within her soul. He is on the borderline of decision. 2. 1948. Trans boy is age 5, 50 pounds, wears a purple and orange t-shirt over his flat little child chest, blue jeans and sneakers. He plays with toy soldiers, miniature trucks. Has an erector set with which he creates metal buildings and a chemistry set containing Bunsen burner, test tubes, and vials. And disdains his girls' toys. A doll and carriage sit idle, dusty, in the living room of their material, comfortable, middle-class home, never even having been moved to either trans boy's bedroom nor to her playroom. 3. During my childhood in the late 1940s, I actually thought for an interval of time I had to become a boy or I would die. God, turn me into a boy, was my ongoing prepubescent prayer, and I can't remember how old I was, 7 or 8 maybe. Psychiatrists suggest it's typical of abused children to forget their childhood. I had a bad, abused childhood at the hands of my mother, and have blocked out a lot, but I remember it was my constant daily and nightly mantra at that time that I must grow a penis between my legs miraculously. Instantly. Must wake up one morning having been changed into a boy. And anger so great inside that my heart wanted to burst out of my chest and my throat turned dry. Now, 40 years later, at the millennium, 2000 AD, when society is on the cusp of the potential of an individual to be anything they choose, I'm still not sure if I will become that boy, but it is urging me onward still through the years. Through my tomboy stage, my butch stage, my hard butch years, my trying and failing to pass for a man, my male identity. In the 1940s, in Chicago, Illinois, there was no visible queer movement. The army to come was still composed of foot soldiers scattered here and there across the broad plainsland of America. In any African American community, or white, you could see visible gays/transgenders sprouting up between the normal school children like strange new vegetables in a garden. Thoughts were formulating inside my child head at that time of the utter shame it was to be a girl. Girls would soon grow up to be women, and women, females, were victims. They were second-rate, less important. They had to obey a master, some man. In picture books about foreign countries, they were shown walking 5 paces behind their husbands, with their heads bowed, veiled, and being led by him like a sheep or a cow? Was it because of the misogyny in the world, its hatred of women, that I had to be a boy? This burning desire to change, to reassign my gender, this shame about my femaleness was killing me. My lack of identification with my mother's role. She, about that time, was showing more pronounced symptoms of mental illness, which was going to destroy our home and her life. Did this make me turn to identify with my dad, who was my friend, who loved me and was a loyal parent until he died? Or is it inherited, like scientists are beginning to believe? A genetic circumstance which had already been created before my birth? That I was created gay or transgendered in the womb, and that these early dysfunctions of my home life only drove me to be out, obviously queer, in a bold, more significant way, since I had nothing to lose. It's been so long ago, and such a bad, bitter road, that I can remember little of my roots. I was born into a black bourgeoisie family of very light-skinned people. My mother and her parents of African descent, and my father of a different nationality, south of the border, Latin. Racism surrounded us, another unpleasant picture. Girls in my neighborhood on the south side worked hard at housework, were forced to help their mothers. My best friend, playmate Diane, was given an incredible workload. We were age 10. Diane did her family's ironing, laundry, and scrubbed the kitchen floor on her knees. I didn't have to do any of this because of my mother's mental illness, incapacitating her from standing guard over me. In fact, my father did all the cooking, washed dishes, sent our dirty clothes out to a laundry, and washed, ironed, folded, and bundled it. And once per week, a maid came in to dust and vacuum. Definitely, I was not a woman. I'd never fit that description. Female, yes, because that's the biological body to which I was born, and have been living in this state all my life. So, the way I look at it now, I must be the final extension of being butch. Trans man, not quite. Definitely not male man. Definitely not woman. Ugh. The idea of myself being a woman is torture to me, but the idea of loving a woman has been with me also, since the beginning. To have a woman's touch, a woman's love. From the earliest age I can remember, I dressed in colorful t-shirts, blue and red stripes, orange and purple, yellow and brown, short sleeves and long, blue jeans with pockets of stuff, model airplane parts, marbles, glue, pink bubblegum sticks, baseball cards, cap guns and their play ammunition, red paper rolls of caps with small brown indentations of explosive powder, precious kid junk, socks and gym shoes. I was a total tomboy, and kicked and screamed when my mother and grandmother tried to put me in a dress.